Okay, hello, back to the game. I have a good selection of scenarios this time. I think did. We probably did the army management. I tend to do it after the mission, so I don't have to do it when I start a new one. But I probably don't recall what I need to do. The Pharenian steps, that's probably the best scenario ever. A force of the Shadow Lord's troops has landed to the north of the Pharenian steppes and is pushing south, meeting with very little resistance. A hold on the southern steppe is in danger of collapse, and unless you can find a way to stifle this advance, we will be forced to abandon the region altogether. Random map. Actually, I prefer these at the moment, because they tend to be very fast-paced. So we can sort of just dump our units without thinking too much. We don't really know where the enemy will be coming from. Yeah, quick deployment since there's no proper mission, so we can just dump everything. Quickly proceeding, doing the scouting. Oh shit! Well, we don't have to guess where they're coming from. I'll still do this just to make sure they're. Ooh. Okay, Sandman, heavy infantry. Sandman is already one of those units will be suffering through the rest of the game. Heavy infantry magical, vulnerable to mech. This is a tough son of a bitch. But still, this isn't. I don't think this is the worst one. But yeah, 35 magical attack, armor 30, 6 defense 90. There's no real downsides to these units, and they're 2 field of experience. So we're looking at excessive and heavy casualties on any unit basically who has to deal with those. This magical heavy infantry, full unit, and magical cavalry. Yeah. We'll send most of our guys to the north, but we'll send yeah, we'll keep this group like 10 units and take care of these shrines and any resistant areas. Everyone else north. This is they're sort of packed in there. There's only a very small holes you can get out of that place. That's good because it'll take us a few turns just to move our army to face them. They didn't seem to have too many good units though. Few magical armies that are of any note, and then the basic rabble. The Sandman heavy infantry is probably the worst unit they have on this map. I'm not sure, but I think the worst one will be something like something shadow or lava related. That's the general theme. And that will be when we are facing the actual armies of the Shadow Lord. it sort of condenses all the bad things we have encountered so far and makes them buffs them up a little bit. Same thing with the general options. I mean, not general options. I mean the abilities you have with your generals. I'm not sure what the exact stats with the Shadow Lords will be, but I think it can do things like cast a wizard spell 2 times every turn on your army, things like that. So that's going to game will turn to in many ways to shit quite nicely. So they'll have at least as good as army as we have in quality and in experience, and then they have all kinds of bullshit abilities to make it even worse. They're back in there. I want to see the prediction. Yeah, the heal almost slaughter our cavalry if we charge. Can't do anything against skirmishers, but on the other hand, he won't take damage either. Yeah, risk of dying if we attack. Guaranteed to die if we attack. Minor damage. Pretty even. We have the advantage because we are more experienced, but that's it. We have the clear advantage. We have resistance amulet to magic. Yeah, 1 wound. He had 4 dead, 5 wounds. So actually at this point I'm really thinking of getting another warlord. Because these magic resistance amulets and the natural high armor are very good against some of these. Much better than the heavy infantry will ever be. We're hoping for magical items. Anything but an armor, weapon, some kind. Armor isn't bad, but it's not going to make a life or death difference, while a magical weapon. At 110 gold, I'm not in the least bit. We have tons of Earth Masters. Yeah, they were Earth Masters. This is the best magical unit. Enemy ground units in the target hex and surrounding hexes check morale. This is a good unit. No bad things to say about that, but I still prefer a magical item because a lot of our armies had nothing. And we're after this. There's probably like a half a dozen missions. And after that we'll start to go to a sort of an intermediate continent, and after that we go for the final campaign. And at that point I'd like almost everyone to have at least some kind of magical item. General isn't a bad unit in any sense. I'm actually I'll keep this. When it gets experience, it'll be proper heavy infantry unit. What I'm mainly thinking about is it won't take up our unit slots, and we have been using these to defend against our own dependent objective points we have on some missions. But they're totally incapable of doing that at this point, so sort of an upgrade to a general would definitely be a situation. We will very likely lose all the corporals and sergeant at some point, because it only takes a single attack from a proper enemy to kill. So the only reason they are alive now is that no one has actually attacked them. If a Sandman attacks them, it doesn't matter if it has 0 experience or something. It'll slaughter them. Mm, I try to attack from both sides or push here. Let's take a look what they actually have. Yeah, it's pretty much fiddled. This is probably the strongest cavalry make. Very high armor. Maybe the second strongest. No. Either way, we have to proceed. Yeah, we're trying to attack from multiple places. Yeah, this will get totally bogged down here. Oh yeah, we'll go around. Maybe even go through the mountains, but we can't stay here. Trying to everyone to go through that small hole. Just isn't gonna work. Spread around a bit. Protect our units from any aerial attacks they might try to make. Ooh. Ooh, we were lucky there. What the computer is basically doing is just switching units around. Nothing of importance is happening there. Yeah, that was a bad move. I don't care too much about who gets the experience at this point. Even though we could have milked some experience to some of our units. As long as someone gets it, someone who hasn't got a maximum experience amount, that's good enough. I'm not gonna get too picky at this point. Silverhawks, Sandman, Sandmen. Oh, these are nasty. They might even be the best the infantry there is, although I think there's something more. There definitely are some kind of lava warriors, but they might also be light infantry. It doesn't really matter, those guys are dangerous enough, we can't take them seriously enough. And that's once you encounter those in a 5 shield variant, that's gonna be lovely. I think we'll want to get rid of that. At least it's so damaged at this point that it doesn't matter. We're sort of neutralizing the bomber effect at this point. These are quite good. Classical riders. Normally bombardiers are fairly weak, but we had trouble doing anything to them, and this isn't some kind of a super unit, this is a very early unit. Push on. Yeah, and you're certainly not gonna go there, no one's gonna go there. That's a death sentence. We'll start pushing through the mountains. That's what heavy infantry is good for. Okay, Balira still has some. She's fairly good also. She could probably use an armor. That amulet might be better, you never know with these. Okay, we could gain some experience here. Ooh. They have a ton of light cavalry, which isn't bad, but the problem is immediate. They can do a wound or two, but that's it. That's not good enough. Not good enough for anything. This is largely useless as a combat unit. Too weak attack, too weak of armor. It's not totally useless, but we can't use it as an attacking unit, and that's a pretty bad thing. Surprisingly, a lot of units still here. I'll actually take this shrine now. Nightmare attacks? Yeah, I don't think so. Dealing with the nightmare is one thing, not getting anything for it is another magical snake. Yeah, we'll take a... if we get a javelin, crossbow, axe, all those would be a good thing for someone. A magical weapon of good quality. Berserker's John, yeah, this is a light infantry, it's okay. I don't know what the berserk ability actually does. And would be pretty much our only light infantry, so I'm not keen on getting it. Any kind of magical weapon, really. I'm sort of excluding the weakest ones, like the normal sling. I have a firebolt. This is a better item than the wand of fireballs, because I think this has range. You don't have to go next to an enemy to use it, so it would be better for some kind of these support troops. Don't see forward line or front line action all that much. Like Captainian. If I'm sort of hesitating to take generals, I'm not gonna take captains. I have to take something, and it doesn't seem to be a... Oh, this is great. We're definitely gonna load, because that's the best Sky Hunter the enemy will ever get, and that's a badass Sky Hunter. Yeah, heroic. Even if there's just one of them left, it'll the unit will fight like there's a full 15 of them. Magical attack, a good one, and a good armor. So, and that's one shield variant, so with 4 additional shields, the values will be what? They'll be 30, 32, something like that. So that's we're looking at a heavy infantry unit when it has no experience. So that's a tough mother kill. Let's compare it to us. Yeah. He'll have higher stats and his attack will be magical always. So this is one of those reasons why I'm very keen on getting magical weapons to our flyers, because otherwise we'll be at a clear disadvantage against our main opponent. One general is good enough, thank you. I'll take generals from every one of these sites. Will be swamped with generals, and I'm sick of moving those hero units. Well, I'm going to take the gold soon. Yeah, I don't want to keep doing this. I'll take the gold even if we that ogre hunters. Yeah, give me something. Game, don't do this to me. That's worse. It's not a bad unit. Royal archers. Now this might be this is the best mortal archer there is. It's not usually better than the previous ones, but another small upgrade when I'm attack. It'll get totally destroyed here though, but yeah. On the other hand, we're sort of. I'll take it. I don't want to move on. I think we're gonna have to redeploy this to protect the archer. Yeah, it can be potentially attacked by an Iron Giant and a Steam Plant, so there's potentially a lot of damage he has to deal with. We can start pushing through now. You can rest. We need to be careful about leaving room to go. Yeah. And we'll move units here to block their escape routes. There's a definite shadow theme when we're starting to reach the end game opponents. Everything is shadow or fire or lava or something similar. That's a stupid thing. We could have covered him with an archer. It doesn't really matter at all, so... keep that one. We'll get rid of the skirmisher. Ooh, yeah, no match for a no match at all. Basically suiciding their units into us by simply attacking once. Apologies if you hear that chewing sound. Trying to eat at the same time. Some kind of a... what the hell is this? Some kind of a cookie that's filled with apple jam or something like that. Very nice. Where the hell do these guys keep coming from? Well, that city naturally. Just checking if there's a better option to attack him. I think we'll send the general to go after the Gripper. And position ourselves to defend against those. Although I don't think the fight will last that long. Here. Light cavalry is weak enough to be able to handle star hunters. Heavy infantry is not. Defeating light cavalry, light infantry, that's a decent target for you to attack. We need to initiate the attack on the Earth Elementals. They're not amazing magical heavy infantry, but we haven't encountered them, I don't at least recall, so I don't know how good they are. We should be able to take it out, I think. Well, almost. It's not terribly strong. I don't see any point in getting more troops there. We'll try to move there, yeah. Buying a lot of new units. Which makes sense. Hmm. 5 minutes. There are a few. I think we will do some regrouping. Oh, that's a nasty one. We need to weaken that. Yeah, that's good enough. Not exactly great, good enough. Okay, one more turn and then it's over. Ooh, that hurt quite a bit. I think we were broken before the enemy attack, so we were very vulnerable there. Yeah, this is probably the end. Sky Splitter. Some kind of rocket ship. Bombardier. Attack is fairly good, so is the armor. Amulet of Resistance. Forced March. He's simply fairly weak against skirmishers. Okay, maybe not. So why is it so wounded? Yeah, I just haven't been paying attention. We still have a good amount of forces left. Much more than I actually thought he had. Almost everyone here has full experience. Almost. I think that's it. Yeah, we'll just have to try to get casualties caused on the enemy somehow. We're fairly close to finishing things up. So we don't need anything excessive, maybe a few kills and that's it. Yeah. How to attack? Should I attack? Should I go in the forest? That's the big question. Okay, Ghost Riders. Cavalry. Vulnerable yeah, this is magical cavalry. It's fairly experience too. I'm not keen on attacking yet, I'm much more interested in increasing our defenses. But they have 3 cavalry units ready to engage, so that might be bad. Very bad. Very, very, very bad. That's a bombardier, yes? Yes. Let's see if we lose an unit. Ooh, that hurt, but not too bad. That hurt quite a bit. Not much. Yeah, totally pointless. Yeah, it didn't attack. Or more precisely, it split the cavalry to 2 sides. If it had focused on one side, it could have achieved something. This is probably the last. I cause casualties. But we need to go and protect the priest somehow. Still not getting to the enemy. Yeah, you're so goddamn useless. I still think we might be able to end this. Ah, the council is impressed with your abilities. 200 gold for your cause. That's interesting. Seems very clear that these 2 opened up here. So if we go here, we're not going to make any forward progress, so we'll have to pick one of those 2. Under threat, that's the best cavalry. Seekers. We did get some magic. Did we get some magical items? I don't remember. I don't think we did. I don't think we did. On the other hand, I think I was interested in doing what? Switching around some... thinking about getting a warlord mechanist. On the other hand, might be getting a thunder threat soon. I'm sort of interested in trying it out, even just to see it, even if we only get one. And there's still the Seekers coming. But if we get Warlord Mechanist, it'll basically exclude those options. The reason being that we don't have the resistance amulet, only one remaining. I'm sort of interested in the cavalry option, because we have so little of them. Yeah, I'm gonna waste a ton of time if I start thinking about it, what to pick. And it's sort of pointless since we don't have the option to even make that choice at the moment. So we'll just end things here, and next time hopefully remember to pick one of those two and not go to these ones that are basically just... we basically passed them already. Yeah. Until next time.